Hey, it's Nemato. Welcome back this week, guys, for another episode of How I Use It. Today we are looking at the Intellijel Morgasmatron dual filter. This thing sounds great. It's got a lot of different filter modes, and you can use it in a variety of ways, making it a very powerful option for just about any Eurorack system out there. I'm having a morgasm just thinking about it. Okay, so first thing we should do is get a sequence going, and I'll show you some of the different filter modes on the first channel. Now let's play with some drums, utilizing different filter modes from both channels. So obviously these are kind of the most basic ways to go about using a filter, but where did those drum samples come from, I wonder? That's right, those sounds were created with this filter. In fact, I made a song with it. When you turn up the Q all the way, this thing will self-oscillate and you can use it for a voice that will track pitch. So first up, making some drum samples, I threw the output into my QMMG VCA and used the Chaos Devices Zadar to make a variety of drum samples. Also, using a second channel on the Zadar feeding into the FM slot, I got an interesting variety of percussion samples. All of these sounds are post-processing with some EQ, and my hi-hats in particular have some distortion with a bit crusher. Take a listen. Next, using the mix output and setting the center switch so each filter is independent from one another, I was able to set the pitch of both channels separately with each cutoff knob, and then using the 1 volt per octave input with a René sequencing the pitch, I tracked the pitch of both to create 2 separate patches of these pad style chords. lastly, I thought it'd be fun to kind of follow the same concept but get some space into this with some faster arpeggiated lines, taking advantage of the Make Noise Mimeophone and the Q-Pass filters for some shifting resonance and delay, and then I added a little bit of post-processing reverb in Logic. Now, I will say I cheated just slightly. I couldn't find a good way to make a convincing snare sound here. This self-oscillating pitch that is generated from the filter is kind of difficult to mold a noisy snare hit out of, even with the overdrive capability. I tried running it through the plasma drive distortion and a variety of envelopes, but ultimately wasn't pleased. If you guys have any ideas how you'd generate a snare from this kind of sound source without a real noise output, let me know in the comments. I ended up using a rim shot sample. So putting everything together, here's what I came up with. Morgasmatron. Great filter. I think the only thing that could really make this better for me, Intellijel, if you're listening, could you please start making black panels for your modules? So the whole idea for trying to create a song out of just this module as best as I could, that came from a video that I saw of Richard Devine. Credit given where credit is due. He was talking about how anytime that a company sends him a new synthesizer, whether it's hardware or like a digital VST, one of the first things that he does is go through and try to design a song with it immediately, and that way he can kind of figure out what exactly that piece of gear is really good at, and maybe what some of the downfalls of it are, just to kind of see how flexible it is. And I thought that that was really cool and a really creative process in terms of just like really pushing yourself to develop different sounds and explore the gear that you already have in your studio, rather than just always either jumping towards presets or just simply sticking to, you know, what you normally use for certain sounds, rather than kind of pushing the envelope and stepping outside of your comfort zone a little bit. Thank you guys so much for sticking around through this video. I hope you got something out of it. If you haven't already, I hope you consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button for me. And otherwise, I will see you guys very soon.